Is being recorded on the late evening of Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. Thanks so much for joining me in this video. Hope you all had a great weekend. And in this video, going to talk about the weekly outlook for gold and silver. And boy, what a last few weeks it has been for gold. So let's get right into it. Looking at a daily chart here with gold and silver. So gold traded up as high as 2009 in Friday action, closed at 1994. Silver, we can see traded up, not quite to 24, but fairly close, closed at 23.50. Both shed some of those gains into the weekend. 2000 on the weekly and monthly chart is very significant resistance. So I can talk about that in another video. But looking at the daily chart here, we can see, there's a peak here, another peak here, peak here. So numerous spots. 2000 was a peak. 1985 to 2000 is a stiff area when we're talking about daily and weekly resistance. So the question now becomes, if there's a pullback, and you have to think there might be because we've had this strong rise, and now we're in an area where there's significant resistance. Again, 2000. So we're probably looking at a pause or some kind of a pullback this week, but the market does have strong momentum. It sold off a little bit in early Asian trading, but has recovered some of those losses. This gap here is interesting. I think that's probably going to fill. I don't think this down here will fill. Looking at, so we have the 200-day at 1942. For me, I see the best support. Talking about the short term, the next couple weeks or month, 1910 to 1920, this area. That to me is, if gold corrects a lot, that's where it could find support. But if the market corrects, but it really, maintains a significant amount of strength, maybe here, 1940 could be where the next low is. Looking at a 50% retracement, this is not quite a $200 move, 1825 to a little bit above 2000. So that's, not quite a $100 move. So the 50% retracement is probably around 1920. So the 38% retracement is probably somewhere in here. So if we're looking at, and this, again, this is a very steep rise. There's a lot of momentum in this move, but significant resistance here. So maybe 1940 is the level it will come down to. So 1940, 1925, those are the initial downside support targets to look at. Now, silver, the problem for silver is it's dealing with a lot more resistance than gold. Gold is, we know 2000, 2050, and then it's off and running. Silver has to chew through quite a bit. You have 24.5 here, a little bit at 25.5, then a lot more around 26. If you look at monthly and quarterly charts, you can see 26, 27, then even 28, 29. And looking about breakouts, I did a video on this. I forget the name, but you can search it, looking at gold breakouts and then silver breakouts. What happens is gold breaks out first, then silver breaks out after gold. But, I'm going from memory. It can be anywhere from like 3 months to 9 or 10 months. So silver is going to lag, but once gold gets above 2050, above 2100, that's when we would expect silver to catch up. Now, downside for silver, you got the 400-day moving average here. These were previous lows, 2250 or a little bit below. So that comes in right around here. But again, if the market stays strong, maybe it holds above 2260. But, nevertheless, I do think, I will say this, maybe gold corrects a little bit if the market still has a lot of momentum. Maybe silver could push up a little bit more. That's possible. But I do think gold is really driving the bus here, and that it's likely to pause or pull back a little bit this week. So looking at the miners, now we have the 200-day moving averages in here. We have GDXJ at the top, GDX at the bottom. Starting off with GDX, go back 10 years, 30, very significant level. Got the 200-day moving average there, peak here, peak here. That was also a low. So this is an area of resistance, a natural area where GDX could pause. The support levels are right here, around 2850, above this gap. And then you have support here at 28. So this is a pretty big gap. That's interesting. I mean, if this trades like this, it's able to hold above this a couple times, for a couple weeks, it's probably setting up for, a move above the 200-day. And I mean, that would coincide with gold probably trading up to 2050, 2070, and really threatening another breakout. GDXJ, not quite as strong as GDX. 200-day is here at just below 37, 36. I mean, we can see here, low here, there's some resistance here. So this 36, 37, this is resistance. GDXJ rallied up to close to 36 on the high 35s. Support here at 34. Also support in the low 33s. So that's what we have for this week. But, focus on gold, because gold is really driving the bus here. And, if you're thinking about, well, gold's going up and silver's lagging, the juniors or miners are lagging, they all need gold to break above 2100. If and when that happens, then you're going to see better performance out of the rest of the sector. So I know at turning points, the miners can give hints and they could lead, but it's really the gold price is driving the bus here. And so, if gold corrects and stays under 2050, 2070 for a little while, I mean, if it takes it a couple months, 3-4 months to break 2100, that's not going to be great for the rest of the sector. So gold is driving the bus here. Focus on gold. If and when it takes out 2100, you'll see the silver, the miners, and the juniors. That's when they're going to gain momentum and really start to outperform. But until that point, focus on gold. And again, gold's at an area of resistance, 2000. It's very overbought in the short term. That's good, but it's probably going to pause. Let me know what you think in the comments. Talk to you guys again in the next video.